All right, so welcome to Bronze Basics, where I'll be watching a code of every single hero in Bronze. Today's video, we have Bronze Basics with Domina. So first of all, you're gonna have a weapon. It's called the Photon Magnum, medium range beam that turns into a high impact shot. I personally love the way that this one works. You distract somebody, it will shoot that shot, which also does damage. And yes, it can headshot, so try to aim a little bit more for that headshot if you can. The barrier array, this is a very static shield. I do want to point out to you that Domina's playstyle is not hyper aggro. Always think about putting your shield in a forward spot. That's gonna be like your finish line. It's one of the most patient heroes you have to be, even more so than Sigma. You definitely want to slow down your gameplay with your shield. A little bit of a note, careful of playing against Bastion. Anything that can destroy the shield, Sojourn, Disruptor Shot, is really effective. Your playstyle needs to be more cover-based. Don't rely on your shield to save you a crap ton. Sonic Repulsors push enemies back, and it stuns enemies against a wall. One thing to always look out for with Domina is, where can I boop somebody into a wall? You can maneuver it pretty well, so as in like you can kind of move your crosshair as you go, and you can kind of lead them into the right direction. Do not be afraid to use that ability. You can get a crap ton of limbs, and you can also CC them a crap ton. Crystal Charge is a explosive crystal, and you reactivate to detonate it. The crystal will heal you up a bit and help sustain you in team fights. The more you utilize this, the more damage you do, the more you finish a limb. So use your crystal charge a little bit more proactively. You have your ultimate barrier that you just puts over a shield over them, and then it will detonate when it expires. Now, the cool part about this ultimate, it does more than just that though. For example, let's say Lucio pops beat. Guess what? No one gets beat except for the Lucio because the shield blocks that. Cassidy High Noons, you do it at the right time. Now you've blocked a High Noon. Uses an aggressive ultimate. It can also be used defensively. I've had many team fights where Zarya grabs, and I see that all 5 of them are in front of me, and I just pop Domina out. Well, now they have to get those shields down before that grab, and most of the time they can't. Usually the squishiest target is what I go for. You can still damage them through the shield. Onto the perks. You have Efficient Design, which is where after you use your barrier array, it can restore 50 shields and activate passive health regeneration. I like this one for when I'm playing against a little bit more of a kind of brawl team right in front of my face, as in like I don't need the range of my Magnum shot. I'm not gonna really stray you away from either or here. I will say that I get more value out of the increased range, which is the extended power one, the 20% increased range, just because like I can snipe people across the map. But yeah, either one works. Just remember, when you play against more of a brawl heavy comp, Efficient Design can be good since you don't need the range. Whenever you're playing against more poke heavy, like as a Hanzo across the map, extended power can be great for that. Then you have for your major perk, you have Disruptive Destination. When enemies are hit by the crystal's explosion, it will slow them for 30% by 2 seconds. Love this one. I use this one a lot. It's really good to slow them. I mean, straight up, like I've had so many times where I slow them, use the boop combo into the wall, I get a bunch of limbs. The more people in your crystal, the more health you're gonna get back if you have low HP. It just kind of works out and synergizes well with my play style. You have the new one called Corporate Retreat, which is when barrier is active, it can be moved to another location. Haven't quite used it a ton. The use case of it's a little bit different. Like if I'm gonna play a more kind of poke style, I haven't found a way to utilize it consistently, but I don't think it's bad either. I think it just takes a little bit of play style adjustment. Just because I go with a perk doesn't mean it's the most optimal or the best. It just means it fits my play style. But Domina is such a fun character, a very slow, methodical play style where you take your time to get in space, utilize your damage and your boops. You can take over games. All right, so today's video, we are watching a Bronze 1 Domina on PC. They say, hello, I'm a relatively new Domina main, and I can swap around the Stalwart subclass pretty well due to the frequent bans on Domina. This game started off really well, and I'm not sure what happened, but around the halfway mark, the enemy team locked in and then started decimating us. I'm worried that my positioning was off or that my target priority isn't the best. Don't be afraid to critique my gameplay as harshly as needed, as I am a gold 4 support and I'm trying to get better at all the other roles. I've been trying to get out of bronze for a while because my placements didn't go too well. If you decide to review this, then thank you for the help. All right, let's see what happens. It's fun. Step 1, don't use your shield right there. What value is this shield gonna get? Yeah, you're gonna maybe stop your teammates from dying at the beginning, but you want your shield to be at the choke. That cooldown is fairly long, so I want to see you use it a little bit better there. All right? Shield up to the... I just want to point out, I would more shield like this, right? And the reason why you shield like this is because you want to basically force them back, because that's going to basically make it so this side can't do anything, this side can't do anything, and if they stay here, they're line of sight and their heals. Instead, you're just using your shield almost kind of like as a really standstill moment. Both of your shields have been a little bit rough thus far. Good target priority there. Okay. Yep. I know what you're doing there. Okay. I really want to get you out of the habit of trying to use your shield to keep yourself alive in those situations. Right now, your team is basically playing without a shield. Straight up. Like, you could just... Like, if you were just... if you didn't drop your shield, there probably wouldn't be much difference outside of a couple of extra damage to you. That shield, I'm okay with. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm okay with that shield. Good AoE. Shield is good. I'm fine with that shield for now. Line of sight's their tank. Yep. Totally fine with that. Good shield, good AoE. I like what I'm seeing there. Don't be afraid to use your push more aggressively on a Ramattra, and also don't be afraid to use your push to displace people. I get a lot of kills by just displacing somebody out of their team, kind of like a Lucio boop, and it can go really well. So just something else to kind of remember when you're doing that. Taking space. This is okay. I personally, like, if you're asking me, I would push up a little bit more. Like I would be like kind of where the Ramattra was, so that way you can deny the space. This could be an ult spot. Yeah, good ult. Excellent ult. Nice shot. Kill the lamp. Great play. Nothing really to add on to that outside of maybe push up slightly more aggressive next time. But even that, like, I'm okay with that. It just, yeah, I'm just giving you more like options to think about. But so far, so good. You also have to remember it is in bronze, so like I have to also give some feedback based off of bronze where players are more likely to kind of huddle around the cart more. So like, you know, you can go up and take, you know, really aggressively, but if your teammates don't follow you, then you're gonna feed. So I try to give it like kind of an in-between of that. This one's a little bit different. Like, it's like, so let me show you. This isn't a good position for you. You're line of sight in your teammates. Look at this. Yeah, you could have pushed somebody off the map, things like that, but look at this. You're literally line of sight in your teammate. You need to be more here for now if you're gonna make that play. If you put your shield here, then your teammates can see you. You can do damage. You can also go over here and get some heals there. So that's more of an issue with how you position yourself there, and I think that's more of what the problem is. So again, something just to kind of keep in mind when you're doing that, all right? One thing I always try to keep in mind is where is the line of sight of my team? You don't need a... I get what you're trying to do there. I still would try to be... Your shields are... It's kind of interesting. You're doing the okay shield most of the time. I feel like I would have waited on your shield there. If you weren't going to save your teammate on the other side of a Mei wall there, I'd rather see you save your shield after. You'll have like 2 extra seconds of shield, and your teammates will be able to be further back on that one. That one kind of forces them in a weird spot. Nice kill. Hide for a second. Nice. Use your AoE. Excellent. Excellent. Also, I just realized, are you not a fan of the... Just so I'm getting this right, chat. This Domina did not pick the ranged one, right? On that perk selection? Good attack, by the way. So I'm not gonna try to stray you too much away from like what like is a comfort pick, but that perk is so damn good for the increased range. I just want to point that out. You do pick the range now, but back then you thought regen was better. Okay, got you. New one's coming back soon. Now, do I need to tell you? You're in the chat. Do I need to tell you? Are we good? Like, I don't have to go any further on this one. All right, cool. Just making sure we're good. All right, I think you know. So what is the problem I have here with positioning here? Okay, I want to show you something, and this goes for any player. This is a reminder to myself too. One, the Bastion swap is going to be tough for you. I just want to put that out. If you find yourself at chokes playing like this is not good. I'm going from cover, middle of the open for a while to cover. I'm also here. This is an all-in spot. Look at the distance between cover. Same thing, distance to cover. Cover is important. Don't do this. Don't go wee back and forth. This is not utilizing cover. Playing here, playing this angle, doing damage, throwing AoE, shielding, backing away to cover, backing away to cover. Using that is way better than going wee back and forth and then having to go all the way to cover. See what I'm saying? Okay? So like, yeah, stay here now. Don't go across. If you go across, now you're in the middle of the open. Now what? Now your teammates, see? Look at that, see? That's what I'm saying. Like, you're getting kills, right? Like, you're getting kills, right? But, like, this is something you're going to be punished for as you try to improve and get better. Like, this is more along the lines of, like, you're just not getting punished for it, but teams will take advantage of that against you. Okay? Notice how you're doing that same thing I talked about? You're eventually going to lose this team fight, by the way. This is an all-in situation by you. I love how I showed that example, and that's exactly what you're doing. Wait, this is good. Oh, no, we're back. All right, time to... Yeah. I'm so glad that that play happened. So what ended up happening right there? They nano the Orisa. You have to take that massive leap back to your, like, to the statue. You have to run all the way back to the statue. You can't get full HP because you lose 400 HP not using cover. You get the health pack. You then feel like you can win the team fight, but they've already taken position away from your teammates, and then you fall over, and that's it. That's why you got to play cover and positioning way better. If you do that, that's just a guaranteed lost team fight the moment they do that. That shield's fine, I guess. I mean, obviously, maybe you get extra cover. I don't mind you going for these kills. As long as you're willing to back up after, I'm okay with that. All right, good job. So, no, what's been the problem here? Yeah, what is the problem here? Again, do you notice how you're always scrambling to get back to cover? This is why you start with cover. You're scrambling to get back to the point. And that's why I always say, if you have good positioning, your aim will be better. Your movement will be better. Your decision-making will be better. And that's why I always stress about it, because like there's just so many things that it makes it difficult on everybody too. Bad position, it makes it harder on your teammates to keep you alive. And then that's just something I want you to notice, how you're always scrambling backwards. And if you want to continue to climb, players will eventually take advantage of the position. Yes, new season's in about 3.5 hours. Yes, you are correct. But the timer will be up once I'm done with the funny moments one. See this? See the trend here? You're always scrambling. Huh. I know you meant to do that accidentally, but that's still pretty damn funny that your shield's here. You don't know what to do. You don't know that your team's always there. Okay, you ready? This is why I keep stressing positioning to you. You're here. Say you're playing here right now. This is where you're playing Overwatch. Right here is where you're playing. You go over here. You ready? Watch this. Now you know where your team is. You just turn around and you look. But you know why you can do that? Because you're in cover. Like, you're using the cover to be able to go back and scan for your teammates. You see how the trend I'm giving you here is use cover? Because when you use good positioning, you can scan for your teammates, right? When you're in the middle of the open, the last thing you want to do is go, hey, everybody there? Yes, of course, if you're here, you can't go, hey. But if you're here, right, you can go, okay, I'm here, and then look back. It gives you more time to scan and then make a decision based off of that. And that is true. Someone brings up a good point. Cover is your second tank, yeah. Obviously, they kill you there. That is what it is. Honestly, that just started with your unlucky shield. I know that shield was a misclick. I'm not going to blame you on that one. It's like the Sigma ult. It can snap to a random area in the map. So I'm not going to, like, I'm not going to give you too much on that one. I saw what happened. Okay, I gave you one misclick. I'm not going to give you a second one. That one was clearly obvious where it's going. You need to start paying attention where that shield goes. That's back-to-back 2 shields you hecked up. Aim down. If you feel like your shields are going like really far back, start aiming down first and then adjust. You're aiming high and then trying to adjust and just causing that problem. It's just a simple fix. Honestly, I'm okay with that shield, by the way. That was more of a get your teammates out and go to the point. That shield wouldn't have mattered. That's what I'm saying. They do happen on hills. It's very much, like I said, a Sigma ultimate. So I've always had to learn to aim further down before I go for the play. Because chat knows how much I would like get tilted when I would like get my Sigma ultimate stuck on an object or something. But hey, good news for you, by the way. This cover thing is really fixable, and you might see a climb right away. Because, like, I don't see, like, a huge aim issue out of you. Obviously, you're missing shots, but, like, that's in bronze, right? You're going to miss shots in bronze. All of the mistakes you make with your positioning compounds, like, the rest of your gameplay. And I think once you kind of fix that, you'll see a lot more success. Okay, I want to see the shield. Much better. Perfect. You want to go for early damage? Good. I'll answer that question in a second, Crux, okay? Remember, cover's your friend. Uh-oh. Oh, we're back at it again. Here we go again. Thankfully, their team is making some mistakes, too. The back and forth. Yeah, I mean, I would be playing statue the whole time, but again, I also understand in bronze you're going to hold the choke closer. So if you're going to hold the choke closer, you at least need to position correctly. Bad shield, your shield. You need to go further down. That's all. That's going to fix your problem. And then eventually you can fine tune it so you're not always aiming at your feet when you do your shield, but you need to start at your hero rather than further back. Notice how you're all over the place? Like, you win these team fights, but you see how difficult it is? So that is the problem on that one. Okay. I'm okay with going for AoE there. Glad you took, remember the range perk. For anybody like new to like this hero in general, remember like the AoE also heals you up a little bit with the shields, which is really nice. So finding value there. Problem here. Okay. Here's the problem I want to let you know about. Is the correct response to run back to the point here? So I want to say about 80% of the time, you want to take care of the players here. I would rather see you kill Diana or the Emre and then come from this way and then would still help, and then you can clean up the kills and win. Think about trade in backline or a kill in backline and then rotate in back. I guarantee you'll win those team fights like 80% of the time. Obviously, they might make a sick play. Orisa pops an ultimate. But you can't do anything about that. Your teammates are dead regardless. You end up having this like advantageous flank. So don't like panic back to the point. Now, obviously, maybe you win this team fight and this, this doesn't matter. But like from what I can tell, look what's happened. Everybody that was behind you stays alive, and then you end up probably, I can't tell if you're going to lose this. You are. You're going to lose this team fight more than likely. I don't know. Mercy's popping off, actually. Wait a second. That Mercy's blasting over there. Their Mercy's popping off. Like the other team's Mercy. Okay. So, yeah, you end up getting back to the point, and it looks like you're going to end up losing this team fight. I wouldn't go in, by the way. Yeah. So, this goes back to what I talked about. I want you to do something called the stop and scan. Okay? The stop and scan is stop at a cover spot, look back. Are the numbers there? Go in. But you have to look back. Because here's the thing. If you get here and you look back and you only have 2 teammates, you go, okay, I'm not going to push that. Guess what? Now you're in a good spot anyway. Now you're in the most advantageous spot you can be in as a tank on this map already, and you're ready for your teammates when they do return. But if you go in during overtime spawns, you're going to end up with a long walk back. Listen, I love some ambitious ultimates, okay? But that would not have won you the team fight. Either way. This goes back to what I said. The cover and check, right? You want to get the cover, check for your teammates, then go in. That was not going to save your team. Also, if you're going to ask me the question, have I gone for that before? Absolutely. I've done that before too. And you know what? There's been many times where people on Horizon Lunar Colony are wondering where the Domina ult comes from, and it is me. But I've learned to do less of that because most of the time that's the result. I've learned to taper back a little bit on that attempt of an ultimate. 2v2, I can argue that one, right? Good job on your team, cleaning that up there. Anyway, let's continue on to your attack, see how it goes, see if you make any adjustments. Okay, I'm okay with the shield for now. One thing I want you to get better at, by the way, you can really maneuver people around the map with that push. I mentioned it earlier. There's a lot of times, remember, if you hit them against the wall, it does like the stun damage, and like it does a bunch more value. So like aim at walls, and you're gonna get so much value, kind of like that. I'm telling you, you haven't utilized it as much as you could. Right now, I would be throwing an AoE on that right-hand side right now. Like I would have thrown it a little bit lower because it still would have gotten rid of most of the sim turrets. You would have done so much damage and self-sustained yourself a little bit more. So. Ooh, that's awesome. New main story, I'm in. A new Warframe main story, I'm in. Heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of just running it down mid there. I really want you to learn about taking your time a little bit. I'm telling you, once you get better cover, it's gonna be crazy. Again, you're running it down mid, and then you went queen now. Okay, so you swap off Domina, but like again, you going queen is what I mean. Like you didn't have to switch off Domina. You just made back-to-back mistakes, but you kind of know. Ooh, good ultimate by your teammates. I mean, you did fine on queen. You shouted in, you got kills. That was fine. I can't believe that sim turret is still alive. I can't believe you're also trying to kill it. You could have walked like 2 feet forward there if you really wanted that sim turret. It would have been... You're turning your back to the... What in the world is going on? How did you get that? Oh, boy. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, that was bound to happen. That was bound to happen. All right. So listen, here's where I'm at. You need to start with the basics of positioning. That is it for you. The moment you start to use cover and you stop bouncing back and forth like pinball, again, that chokes, and you use that cover, do 2 things for me in your games. 1, cover, 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 positioning. Play cover. 2, do the scan and cover, okay? Go to cover, scan for your teammates. That way you're not running it down mid without your teammates and you know where they're at. And then 2, you're taking way less unnecessary damage. Your supports, your teammates will thank you. And then I guess if you want me to add a 3rd thing here, work on those shields a little bit. Think about what your shield does. Does it line of sight the heals from the other team? Does it give cover to your team? Take that into account. Stop throwing some random shields. And I guess if you want to add on to that, start looking down first with your shield and then work on like not having them go 8,000 feet behind them, because any failed shield as Domina is either a lost team fight or makes it so you get way less value. So if you do that, you're going to see a massive improvement. And one thing I noticed, when you were settled, your aim was fine. Your aim was totally fine when you were settled. But the moment they would start to punish you for that bad positioning, your aim would go wild. And that's what the difference is. Again, good positioning will lead to good results, and everything else will go there. And the next thing you know, you're going to be out of bronze. You're going to be in silver, making your way up on that, okay? So you got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, make sure to the like button, subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't, leave a comment. All of that helps. If you want to submit your own bronze basics or anything on my Discord is where to do that. So make sure to check that out. And if you want to watch more of these bronze basics where we kind of go a little bit deeper on these heroes and kind of go back to the basics, which is also helpful, click this link down here. We have a few of those out already. So with that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day/night.